Good evening. Welcome to the Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm Uncle Tats. I'm here with DJ Sunil. This is Pinstripes at the Dark. NFE, Jonathan, how is everything going? I just got home from work a few minutes ago, and I had enough time to catch up on some of our favorite channels. And I was watching NYY Underground and Pete's video that he put up about the comments made from Reggie Jackson
Yeah,
about
I
how
saw
the
that too.
opinions aren't valued. What's going on,
Yeah,
Maza? You know, and if I think it's very telling, but also very damaging to
it is damaging.
what the
Yes.
Yankees are doing. You got to listen to the big guys that have gone through the trenches.
Yeah.
Those are the most valuable. Forget the analytics,
Hmm.
and the guys that sit at a computer all day, and punch in all these numbers and feed all this information. You have to deal with real life situations. And it seems that they have kind of gotten away from that, where,
Hmm.
yeah, it's, they have the spring training invites and all of that, and they bring these guys back. They have guys around the clubhouse, during, like for the old timers day. And you see some of the youth trying to absorb some information. They need more of that,
Hmm.
you know. And it does say of what, it does speak to the level of why the Astros play at a different level. And for the record, I'm glad they lost. What a
Hmm.
series that was. I
Hmm.
mean, that really ended up being a much more competitive series than I expected. And I'm glad that we're not going to have to see the Astros in the World Series. But
Let me touch on how many times the Astros have actually lost the playoff series at home. Their first ever playoff series they made was before the LDS ever became a thing back in '80.
mhm.
They lost in the NLCS to Philadelphia, '86. Everybody remembers that. Mike Scott, Nolan Ryan, Bob Nepper, that whole pitching staff arsenal. They lost in six to the Mets. Moved the clock ahead to 97 and 99. That whole era of Craig Biggio and company, Lance Berkman, the Killer Bees, Royals, Walt. They lost in the LDS in 97 and 99. And I think one of those years they even had the trade. No, actually, the trade for Beltran wasn't until 2005. So it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far we've got four right there in the older generation of Astros. Then after 99, you fast forward the clock to 2005 in the World Series, getting swept by Chicago White Sox. That game four was at home. Then you go to 2018, Red Sox, Game 5, ALCS at home. 2019, World Series, Game 7 at home. 2021, Game 6 of the World Series to the Braves, again at home. And then tonight. That's like 7 or 8 times right there in their history.
Yeah. No, it's the they have not had a good home field. The home teams really have not had the edge.
Mm-mm.
I think that's also really interesting. It makes it very difficult also of how to predict where this where as the World Series kicks in, where what's going to happen to that point. Um, I also think you really got to give credit to the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
They did not lose they're undefeated on the road in the postseason.
They've
That
got one
is
thing going.
very difficult to do, especially when
That
you're
is.
trying. You're not just going against the other team. In their home field on their home park. You're also dealing with the crowd. And the crowd can change the momentum just as well as some of the players.
Mm-hmm.
So you really got to give credit to the Rangers for being able to find out and that fourth inning today, that sealed the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Sealed the deal. I want to get to some of these comments here because we got Almighty in the chat. What's going on, Almighty? Our favorite troll, Eli, is in the building. Jonathan's still awake.
When is Li not in the building?
That's very true. Eli is he drives us crazy, but we love having him around. They let's see, where was Li? Is he still on this field? And and I don't want to keep going through the same conversations over and over again. But I mean, if that's what people want to talk about, obviously we're going to bring it up. Because I know Sunil and I and the rest of the team, we do value your comments. So I think the Yankees can make a great offseason without a Juan Soto.
Then who do you pick up, Li? I mean, please, you got. You also
here's what I'm going to say on that. They can have a great offseason without Juan Soto.
They just have to write the chemistry.
Can they have the chemistry is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be able to? But are they going to be more? If you don't have Juan Soto and say you go and get, somebody else, where are you going to bring that productivity into the mix? The biggest thing is you need that big bat around Judge. That's what we've been missing.
And that big bat that's around Judge, we have to get away from the all home run or nothing philosophy. What happened to when we had the 330, 340 hitters like Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams spraying hits all over the ballpark and not necessarily home runs?
Why is there
almighty finesse? Because your G ladies, shit the bed. That's basically why.
And if he's right, Li was nowhere to be found on Friday.
That's because he was.
We even mentioned his name 3 times like Beetlejuice, and he never showed up.
Oh God!
Right? No, it's
actually should it be funny that Li Yankee King does have a striking resemblance to Michael Keaton? Now that you bring that up.
And this is where LI's
get it right. Almighty get it right. It's not G men, it's G ladies.
And the cowgirls, we got it. We get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you paid the wrong guy $40 million. I mean, you paid the guy who resembles Jim Carrey's Dumb and Dumber, who basically Joe Shane and the entire Giants front office went out and bought an MTA subway turnstile to act as their offensive line. That's why you're running with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. And Li, don't sleep on our time, please. All right, that's what the weekends are for. All right, believe me, I would love to just sleep all day, but I got friends to support. I can't be sleeping. But Jonathan adds this comment into it. That the Yankees need lefty bats.
Yes, exactly.
Now, if they're able to find a way, if they're not able, because look, we don't know what they're going to do with Soto. We don't even know. I know that ESPN and SNY and and all these outlets are saying that the Yankees are favored to land Soto. But that's still a speculation because who knows if they're going to trade him.
Did you watch?
They might pivot and say, all right, and Li's going to really wake up here. They might say, well, we really want to hold on to Soto because of his age, and we still think that, that his type of bat is something that we could build on. What if they say Tatis is available? Then what do you do?
No, absolutely not touching Tatis. I am not touching Tatis with a 10-foot pole. No, thank you. No, not even having that conversation. As much as I respect all the audience, yourself, I am not having a Tatis conversation. I am not having that drama with the Yankees. A-Rod was enough. We don't need this guy.
Yeah, it's and Almighty makes a good point here.
Mhm.
Is this for clickbait?
Yeah.
It real,
Yankees are clickbait
he's
central.
not a free agent. It's not a guarantee that anybody,
It's a
it's not a
trade.
guarantee that they can be able to talk to him. It's a trade.
Mhm.
So it's a big fucking maybe right now.
Here's
That's
an
all it is.
idea.
It's a
Now
pipe
that
dream.
now that you threw Tatis's name, here's an idea. Since they have to offload a lot of financial, burden from the Padres, right? And this goes back to the guy who they signed a season ago, Xander Bogaerts. So can you move him over from short to third? Because we do need a third baseman. And if we're going to be trading Peraza, which the likelihood seems high on that one, although many would disagree on doing so, you do go out and get a proven entity at the hot corner.
So, Brad, what's going on, Brad? He gets into the conversation. Tatis can get a rocket to Pluto, then play for the Yankees.
Brad, Tatis will get on a rocket and fly to Australia before he plays for the Yankees.
And then Brad could drive him to the Bronx.
Yeah, right from Sydney.
But Almighty adds into it. Actually, I want to get to this comment here from NFE. Right, we got to give him some love. Would we consider Candelario or Donovan?
Donovan,
yeah, I would.
Possibly.
Donovan, I
Candelario,
like.
yeah.
Candelario,
Yeah. No.
I would have went for him in the trade deadline. This is an accent piece going into the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's like. I want this offseason. I want game changers. I don't want pieces to plug in. I need a player that's going to give our team an impact and really, change the narrative that the Yankees that the brand is on a decline. And that the team is just really doesn't know, Adam from Eve. We need players that are just gonna have the balls to just put the whole team on their back and go, come on, Judge, let's go.
Tats, I got to call out LA on this one. Look at his very last comment. We don't need a third baseman. Everyone stop with the nonsense. All right. What is so nonsense about that? Who are you going to put at third? And please stop with the Peraza stuff. Okay. If we're going to trade Torres, like the moniker has been, across Yankee fans, votes of non-confidence, I would rather keep my middle infield as Volpe Volpe and Peraza at the middle infield. You saw what Double A and Triple A have brought with those two on defense. You need to solidify the center. Every championship team that has won a World Series has had a solid middle infield. So you have to go that direction. And if you're going that direction, Peraza cannot be a third baseman. And LeMahieu is a utility guy at this age of his career. So you cannot count on him to be a daily third baseman.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to become of Rizzo at first too. That's a different conversation, but still, this is all a discussion around your infield. So before you start calling stuff as nonsense, LI, have a little bit, take a step back and listen to what the other person is saying. Not everything is nonsense, okay? And not every content creator is going to tolerate, their takes being called as nonsense. I'm giving you this as a very, not really as a stern warning, but just cut it out with that, please.
No, I
respectfully.
Look, we definitely respect everybody's opinions and their takes, and
Mm-hmm.
I know how LI mean. LI's not really trying to insult anybody. It's
I know that, but
I think it's
not everything is nonsense either.
That's the way he talks. But no, and he brings up Oswald. I'm trying to. I gotta lower my volume before I wake up my wife. But it's the way that he wants to. He keeps saying Oswald Peraza,
Hmm.
right? And the reason that one of them have to go is because the first names are confusing the freaking shit out of me.
You
That's
talking
another
about
story.
you're talking about between Cabrera and Peraza?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I actually like the idea, and I said it. I like the idea of Peraza at third base.
Yeah.
But what I'll add to that, if there's an upgrade available
Hmm.
and it fits into what the Yankees are trying to get done,
Right.
they have to do it.
Hmm.
You know, if let's pick a player, that say for Ryan McMahon, right? We'll go with one of the guys that LI wants, and I'm doing this intentionally, not to get under LI's skin, but just to really test where he's at with some of these young players. Right? If we call up for a Ryan McMahon from the Rockies,
Hmm.
and they go, all right, we'll give you him, but we want Peraza straight up, and just do a player swap.
Yeah.
What do the Yankees do? What do you think the Yankees would do if Peraza was the guy that was holding back a deal for a player that you know we've brought up in the discussions as a possibility for the club?
I would add Li to that trade just so we don't have to hear either of those names,
I'm picking
Li
on
or
LI.
Peraza. I would want to. I would not want to hear either of those names again.
Hey, good evening, Chris. How is everything going? Thanks
What's up,
for
Chris?
coming to hang out with us
Yeah.
in these late hours or early hours. But if you hadn't caught it, and Chris, we miss you on the show. We hope you're enjoying your family time. But Sunday on the upper deck, they had Chris Pizzioli,
Yeah.
P-
I saw that.
Pizzola from the Talking Rivals podcast, and it was a great discussion.
Hmm.
Um, and I know, Chris was kind of um, wishing she was there,
Yeah.
as always. But
Hmm.
Chris, it's always good. It's a great show with the upper deck. The girls do a great job.
Yep.
Um, yeah, Brett. No, I know Peraza is worth more than McMahon. I was trying to make an example of where they can go. Peraza is not. Peraza doesn't move the needle for me. You know,
Unless you have him maybe work a little extra in the off season, maybe one on one with Sean Casey or somebody on his hitting, because offensively he's fallen off since that small sample set in the end of 2022.
yeah, no. See, this is where Eli and I are. We're on the same page. Too many eyes.
Hmm.
Me and Eli are on the same page on this. All right.
Hmm.
I
Trading
like
Ben
the
Rice
idea.
and Zach
Like I said,
Messenger.
I like the idea of Peraza at third. I do. I
Hmm.
think Ryan McMahon would be good for second base or first base, depending on if we have Torres and his productivity and the
Hmm.
health of Rizzo. I think it could work.
Yep.
This is not a trade I would do.
Hmm.
Ben Rice has a lot of value right now. He's creating him. He's turning himself into a commodity with the way that he finished the season off.
Yep.
Uh, I think that's kind of selling him to. Yeah, I think that's lowering his value.
Hmm.
I think you can get more for a guy like Ben Rice, especially with the way teams are still struggling. They're always struggling to find catching.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
I Ben Rice for me is like a Soto piece. Some in that caliber.
And I think for catcher, all three pieces we got in that Gio and Gary trade with Minnesota, unfortunately, at some level or other, are going to have to go. IKF, I do not see a re-signing. Does he have a team option or is he a free agent this year? IKF.
I think he's a straight free agent.
Okay,
I
so
haven't
IKF,
looked him up. I'm not thinking
IKF,
about IKF right now. As much
Yeah.
as I like
So,
the kid,
well,
he's not on my radar at this point.
well, here's the larger scope of my point, basically.
Yeah.
All three pieces we got in that trade of Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez, in some form or other, at some point in time, now or earlier, have had to go. We had released Donaldson after he got back from his latest stint on the IL. He went to Milwaukee. Acted like a complete D-bag, but that's a different conversation for a different time. IKF did have a very good demeanor, for the team. He was willing to play just about anywhere and everywhere, and I'm going to commend him for that. I'm not completely crapping the bed on this guy, but he just doesn't fit in some of these other places defensively. That's more of an adverse impact to this team in a large scale. For that reason, I'm out on him. And the third piece was, of course, the green M&M, who we haven't seen since that trade happened. Ben Rortvedt. This guy is basically, he's basically 5'9", Popeye the Sailor Man with like 25-inch pythons, basically, and he can't hit for shit. I'm sorry. But so with that being said, addressing our catching, it's going to be a platoon between Austin Wells and possibly either Higgy or Trevino. I'm leaning more Trevino than Higgy.
No, I think Higgy's a thing of the past. I don't see where he really.
Yeah.
I appreciate his time with us. I just think that chapter's got to close.
Exactly. We need some production, not just offensively, but we need somebody who's going to have an arm to at least keep runners on base and support their battery mate. And then throw people out. Now, Wells doesn't necessarily have the arm that Sanchez was stipulated to have when he came up. And unfortunately, it's either a byproduct of the Yankee system in some form or other, which they've been notorious to do across whether it's pitchers or catchers. See Phil Hughes, Jabba Chamberlain, and Phil Koch, for example. All three, of course, were possibly on their 2009 team. I get it. But in the large scale, prior to that, they've been foobarred as well. Gary Sanchez fell into a lot of bad habit traps, lackadaisical work ethic, just completely lazy at the plate. He just fell off to completely from what he was in that small sample set in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate story, but he did have a good arm. He did have a good arm throwing out runners, though. That's about his only good attribute.
Yeah, so just to clear it up, he just added some substance with Higgy. I just looked it up real quick. Higgy's Jonathan's right. Higgy still has one more year.
Okay.
Before free agency.
And what about Trevino? I think he's a free agent then.
One of them, I'm with you. I thought one of them was Jose Trevino.
Okay.
Let's look this up. Nope, he's also still has one more year.
Oh my God! So then, do you put Austin Wells either at DH or first base then?
No, I'm releasing one or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
And Wells is my starting catcher.
Exactly. I mean, if you had people like Rodon speaking highly of him, regardless of the kind of year that Rodon had this year, that was, of course, a byproduct of his own health and wrongdoing. And that goes to the point I've constantly been harping on repetitively, show after show on Pinstripes After Dark. We need another lefty in the rotation to complement him. And Cortez is not that guy. Li and anybody else who's going to say Cortez is our, he's going to come back healthy as a starter, please stop. Yeah. He was never properly stretched out. It was more of a forceful move, which worked out as a one-year wonder for 2022 that even made the All-Star team. He wasn't even first selection, if I'm not mistaken. He made it as an alternate replacement because somebody else, I can't remember who, couldn't quite get on for whatever the reason was.
Yep.
And Jonathan's
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, just addressing Jonathan's comment below, but go ahead with LI.
All right. Oh, with Cortez? Yeah, we'll get to
Yeah.
Cortez in a second. This is
Yeah.
another puzzling piece.
Exactly.
But Dane Huber, who we all know and we respect his wisdom, he actually DM'd LI and said not to propose Augustine Ramirez and Roderick Arias.
Okay, I can see that.
And for if when Dane gives a name out, and this is not to discredit anybody that has
Right.
suggestions, but
Yeah.
I think when guys like Julian Gigliardi and Dane and some of these guys and Jason, when they start throwing names out, you do have to pay attention.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I'm not discrediting that at any measure.
Yeah.
And Cortez should go to the bullpen too, like
What's going on,
Jonathan is saying.
D-Rod?
Oh, let me get to something what D-Rod is saying. He said any day the Astros lose is a good day. The Astros are done. So this goes to a point that Smoltz and his I can't remember who the gentleman was. They brought up a point on how the Astros farm system ranks in the lower half, and they're at an interesting crossroads. So this could be possibly the beginning of going over the hill and on the downfall. So with that being said, our first series next year is opening up in that piece of shit Minute Maid ballpark, that little juice box that plays like a 2x4. If the Astros are on a downfall, they can't keep some of their pieces. Yeah, I hope Dusty Baker retires. He's the game has passed him by.
No, I don't think it's passed him by. I just Dusty's he's done his time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He belongs in the La Russa category in baseball. I mean, yeah. Bochy
it's just time to go.
Bochy came in a little
Dusty.
later.
I respect him. I just wish he would have picked a different team to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the right guy for the job at the time.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on, Carlos?
Well, we actually got Dev to laugh a little bit in one of the comments, even though we weren't intentionally trying to. But
not yet, anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So, no, I think that, and it's going on, Chris the Flash. It's when this is also part of the problem is not the. I'm going to say more a dilemma because I don't think it's really a problem, but a dilemma. There's so many prospects in the system, our own and other teams. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with who is the hot commodity at a certain time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say? So, we'll throw a name out there, and then a few months later, somebody else is the new chick.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh, please! Are we going to start the Taylor Swift conversation now? Please don't.
No.
No Taylor Swift conversations. I mean, people have thrown they've thrown out Madden 24 covers on there.
She's going to be on the cover. A special edition.
Taylor Swift to the IR for basically being abused by Travis Kelce. More after this.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Rod, it was the first. I think it was the first time, but the Rangers are undefeated on the road.
Here's another thing I wanted to. Here's another thing I wanted to bring up, and this is an interesting trend amongst the three rings that Bochy has won with the San Francisco Giants. His teams haven't really won much more than 90, 92, or 94 games in 2010. 12 and 14. So that kind of fits the narrative around this team as well. If I'm looking at the 2010 stats for the Giants, they were 92 and 70 under Bochy when they beat the Rangers. Now, if I'm looking at the 12 team who beat the Detroit Tigers, That team, okay, 1 second. That team was 94 and 68. So again, 94 wins, tops. And I'm guessing in 14,
Yeah.
14, it was 88 and 74. So they weren't really a flashy team per se by virtue of the numbers on their win loss record.
Almighty, just to throw yours in there. Oh, Bull 9 is in the building. How is everything going? Yeah, Altuve is a free agent in 2025.
Dude, the guy
Almighty. So
needs to
he still
retire.
has,
The guy needs to retire, go to Hollywood, and reprise the road of Tattooist Fantasy Island.
yeah, home field advantage, hold my beer. Uncle Tats doesn't mean you get to drink more beer. There's always a reason to drink a beer. Come on.
No,
But
all right, Brad. Let me correct your narrative on that. He's not necessarily drinking beer, and he's mentioned this on one-on-one private chat. Sorry, I got to disclose this one. He's got the 12-ounce dumbbell things going. He's going two-fisted every time. He's getting his beer cardio in.
Yeah, my 12-ounce lifts.
Exactly. One is made by Blue Point. The other one's made by Pilsner.
Yep.
Yeah.
But a name came up earlier, right? Because now, Cashman, if Altuve was washed up, he would sign him.
Oh my God, no.
Could you imagine? One, let's stop it right there. All right. Could you imagine if Altuve got signed to the Yankees?
Judge would use him as a
Oh my
stool.
God!
And I don't mean the stool that comes out of your ass. He would use them as a stool to sit
Fans
on.
are already divided amongst with each other over half of the shit. The guys out of here.
Yeah, the chance would turn.
Putting Altuve into the mix.
Yeah, the chance would turn from fuck Altuve to fuck Altuve and Cashman.
Yeah. But no, seriously. Yeah, and comment below. Like, what do you think the reception would be for Altuve as a Yankee? I think he'd get killed. You talk about, like, we would be begging for like Gallo to come back. Rather,
no.
I'd rather Gallo than Altuve.
So you'd rather piss A-Rod off by bringing him, by
I don't care.
giving him number 13 again.
And here's why. All right, and this is why there are a few guys on that Astros team I do not want in that clubhouse.
All right.
Right? It's a New York thing. I will not let it go. When you're a rat, you disappear. They sold everybody out to save themselves. They should fuck them.
Uncle Tats, Chris just said she would sign Altuve in a heartbeat. How do we have one of our own basically going against us? I don't get it.
Hey, that's America for you. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion.
Yeah, and, I guess that saying is right.
And look, is Altuve? He's a phenomenal baseball player. One of the things, besides him being a rat, that pissed me off and why I can't stand him, he didn't. That team was good enough where they didn't need the scandal.
Brad Jewis just said, "I know." Mm-hmm.
No, they all stood out there. They gave us this bullshit press conference. Yeah. Where what was it? Bregman said a word every 15 seconds, so he could say he gave his 2-minute press conference to say nothing.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Laughing in the face of the history of the game. Where that was the biggest scandal that ever hit baseball. It's it was the biggest scandal in my opinion since the Black Sox.
Hey, Bob,
because it was a team-oriented thing, so you can't really include the steroid era.
Yeah.
Right. Because that was an individual basis. As far as the team constructing a way to fuck over the game for their own personal desire to win, I'm sorry. I don't want any part of that.
Hey, Tats, let me just run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep. And it's Bobby, I wish I didn't have to go buy smokes, but if you have 5 minutes, I have a ton to say. Bro, we'll be here for a little while. We'll be here for about another half hour. Uh, come back. I know you got a lot to say. Let's get to some of these comments while we wait for my co-host. Um, let's see here. Chris has spent too many episodes away, and she's not thinking straight. No, Brad. Listen, this family, we always enjoy knowing that people are taking their time to spend with their own families. But they all come back to the Yankee community. No, we miss having Kristen on the chats. But she'll be back. Um, Anthony Volpe, and plus Anthony Volpe is our second baseman. So no, I'm not sold on him as a second baseman yet. You can't say that he's not a it's why is my mouse acting up? So bitch, it's always something, Brad. I'm telling you. But it never fucking fails. Something goes wrong. But no, it's Volpe was just nominated for a freaking Gold Glove. Why are you moving his position?
Yeah,
this is where everything starts to go wrong, right? And we're gonna get to this, and then we're gonna get to the final segment of the show, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a lot of laughs, for, and we're gonna cheer Dev up and everybody else that's been going through some times.
And as I make it back, Brad Jewis brings up an excellent point. This is the first excellent point he's brought up in my time on the show. He says, "Do they make pinstripes in midget sizes for help?" We're gonna save the answer to that question for the prank part of the show.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, we're going to be doing it in a few minutes, and I want everybody to participate.
Yeah.
All right. Dev has been going through some stuff with loss in his family, as well as Rob and Donald. And Hector's been, just lost, his family pet, which is just like losing a family member.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where your stance on that. You're not changing my mind on that. It's just been a very rough month for a lot of us. So, in the comments, if you have ever pulled a prank, we want to know what that prank was. We're going to read through them all. I have one. I have a few. I love a good joke. So we're gonna have some laughs to close out the After Dark show, and hopefully give somebody that they can watch and look back at, and know that we're all here to lift each other up. So, what were you gonna say?
So I'm looking at Brad's comment. Li has been possessed by Cashman wanting to move players out of position. Brad, can you imagine if we put Li out of position and actually, misconstrued him for somebody who actually has something up here? That's probably the best prank we can probably ever play on the entire Yankee audience here. Yeah.
It's. I enjoy Li's takes, though. I really do. And I'm not trying to. The thing with Li, and we've had him, we've had him on the open panels. We've seen it, we've talked to him through Hector and TC on Morning Brew. The reason that Li drives us crazy, but we love him at the same time, he was actually right on a lot this year. Where now it's like you kind of have to take him a little bit more seriously.
You have to start.
I'm not going to start moving players out of position.
Yeah,
I don't want to start that. We already tried that. Look what it did to Torres, and I know it's two different players, two different mentalities, two different skill levels, but it's still the same fucking thing. Just or a better, another one, IKF, Gold Glove third baseman. They trade for him. They put him in second base. He's a disaster. So what do? Rather than put him back at third base, they put him as an utility outfielder. I mean, are they that fucking stupid that they can't see that it's not a method that works? Not everybody is a utility player. What were you laughing at, by the way?
Brad Jewish's last comment. LI's takes are between good, bad, absurd, and totally on drugs in that range. Brad. I guess I'm not the only one with the anti-LI takes, and not in a very negative sense. Just he's got to take a step back on calling stuff nonsense and whatever. And just getting very obscene sometimes in the comments. Almighty fans, you can't stand Cowboy fans. Okay.
This is a baseball show, for crying out loud.
Your G ladies have been eliminated since Eli.
Hey. What I just say?
Yeah.
Listen to your grandfather.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I'm pulling grandpa today, and I'm just putting my foot down.
Yeah.
But Li does stick to his guns, and I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other part of I do respect what he's got to say.
But do you have a license to open carry in New York, though, Li? You need guns, because remember what happened to Plaxico Burress in a nightclub.
What did I say about the football talk?
It's not necessarily football talk; it's gun talk.
I have a hard enough time remembering all these baseball names. You going to throw that into this?
Yeah.
Now, I do want to bring up. I want to cheer everybody. I'm going to kick this last part off, and a lot of I do a lot of fishing. On the weekends with my wife. Right, we have a great time doing it. We had decided that we were going to go fluke fishing. This was probably 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So, hold on. You're going to want to hear this story, Chris. Don't go nowhere yet, Bull 9. You'll love this one. So we had gone fluke fishing, and my nephew was standing next, and I'm getting all little bites, but I'm still getting a little activity.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew is sitting there, he ain't getting shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to get a drink. I said, all right. I said, here, Angelo. I said, stand here. I says, and just drop your line. It says, and you'll catch your fish. Boom. Catches a freaking doormat. And I'm standing there for hours just waiting and waiting and waiting. So, oh, Uncle Bobby, I stole your fish. I'm like, yeah, you stole my fish. I hope you enjoy it, right? So it's fast forward. Every time that we get together, it was always from that day on. Remember when I stole your fish? We had gone. Kelly and I had gone. We had gone with him and his girlfriend to Disney a few years back.
Yeah,
right. That's the other thing. Kelly and I like to. We love going on vacation at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So we had gone. If you've never gone as an adult, you got to go. It actually can be fun. We had gone on It's a Small World. And if anybody has ever seen the Family Guy episode, right? Yeah. When they go to Disney and Stewie ends up being captured, and he's on the ride. I had said to my nephew, now at this point, he's in his 20s. I said, Angelo, I says, when we're going through the ride, I says, you got to find the hidden Stewie. Says they put one on after the Family Guy episode. So now we're going. We're we're going through the ride, and he's looking all over the place. Finally, his girlfriend goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm looking for Stewie." The whole boat is fucking dying. And he's like, "Oh, what'd you do that for me to me for?" I said, "Because you stole my fish."
I mean, you could have just asked Google or Alexa. I mean,
Huh?
I'm just, just kind of going in hindsight and say, if I were there, I'd be like, you could have just asked Google or Alexa.
Yeah, he really thought there was a hidden Stewie on the fucking ride. I'm like, that's what you get for stealing my fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a time that we shrink wrapped my boss's car
Mm-hmm.
because he wouldn't let us take a break. We were moving warehouses. So we decided that we took all the shrink wrap from the pallets, because this is when I was in warehousing and distributions. We decided that we were going to wrap his car with shrink wrap, 2 full rolls. Figured if we couldn't go on break, neither could he. Because he used to like to go get coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And we shrink wrap his whole car, and then we put a sign on it. On the we all sat on the hood of his car. And it wasn't like an expensive, it was a little beater that he was using at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we all sat, and there's me. I got to find the picture, and if I do, I'll post it on Twitter, of me sitting on the hood of the car with the roll of shrink wrap.
Mm-hmm.
With the biggest laugh on my, we were dying.
Mm-hmm.
We got our break after that.
Mm-hmm.
That was another good prank I had.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I don't know. The pranks for me are kind of long ago. Gotta remember and dig back deep. Not quite sure. Yeah, Brad. Forget about 10 minutes of your life. How about this? How about the 60 that the Niners didn't play tonight?
Shit.
Yeah.
That's low blow, bro.
Yeah.
Low blow. He's not over it yet.
Yeah. Niners lost 2 in a row. That's a prank in and of itself.
Yeah. Did I have to pay for the shrink wrap? No. He thought he was a good sport about it.
See, when you think about wrapping a car, shrink wrap is not the first thing that comes to mind. Although as a prank, I can get the context. I've seen a lot of those type of videos on Facebook when somebody's like, "Oh, well, you can't park there; it's a handicap spot," and people acting all entitled and stuff. And I fast forward like 10 minutes into the video. When the person comes out, they see their car, wrapped up in like, a whole, what seems like a whole crate full of Post-it notes from like freaking Office Depot or Office Max. Yeah. And stuff like that.
I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Brad,
your Niners are lucky they win the NFC West at this point. Okay, so you might end up being a wild card team, ending up being eliminated in a round before you come back and get to face us. So you can shove 42-10 so far up your ass where the sun doesn't shine.
Nope. D-Rod wins the night.
Yeah.
Best prank. Analytics fooling Casper thinking it was a spot.
Oh no. The best prank is really the Yankees trading for Joey Gallo just to piss A-Rod off about number 13.
It still baffles me that he's so freaking butthurt over that. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but one thing that Pete said, and back to that segment, one thing that Pete said is like, you don't even recognize the Yankees as that same brand of team anymore. It's like, what's this knockoff thing that we're calling the Yankees that we're watching? He said something to that effect.
Yep. Yeah, here's another one. Monty kicking ass in the postseason.
Now here's another bet. I got you. Chris, I got you beat actually along those lines. You actually jogged my context a little bit. The best prank is getting Rachel Balkovic as bench coach for Boone in the clubhouse, and Kim Ang to basically take Cashman's role and promoting Cashman up. Cashman better wear a groin cup to work every day because he's about to get a kick in the nuts every single day that he screws up at his job. And it won't be from the fans alone. It'll be from Balkovic and Kim Eng. And Kim Eng, comes off as the type to be one of those Cobra Kai masters. She strikes first, strikes hard with no mercy whatsoever. And if you want somebody to basically compliment her to be the Miss Johnny Lawrence, Rachel Balkovic.
Deb, my brother, remember about my dad, and we were playing golf together. My dad broke golf clubs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we wanted to bring the pranks and the jokes into the show, because it does help. I like sparking good memories.
Oh, somebody actually posted on Facebook in one of the Yankee groups. They posted a kind of a musical version of what this 2023 Yankee thing was like, and it was a thing on Instagram, and it went off to the tune of the song, "And I Need You More Than Now," and they had like an entire line associated with every pitcher from Cole to Rodon to Herman, Sevy. Everyone. It was hilarious. Yeah. I got to send you guys that link. That's probably going to be one of those that's going to make that laugh.
Yeah, and with Monty, we talked about it on one of the morning shows.
Mm-hmm.
If he's with the Yankees, he's not doing this. This is because a product of
great coaching along with support.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. This is the mystique of the coaching.
Exactly.
We don't got none.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's as much as I like Matt Blake, and he, he's still holding on to some of his old school ways. He is tending towards more the analytical, and not having his own voice. Because he does have to answer to the front office and the analytical team. So it's like Jonathan says, you're right. They need new coaches and a manager.
I've been saying that too. It's not just about the playing.
Yeah, exactly.
The player roster. You need to have a proper coaching support to the players. Chemistry comes in all the phases of the game. Yep. Execution, preparation, coaching. If you have a Soto, you have a Judge, you have a Stanton, you have a Rizzo, you have any of these, wide plethora of stars that are out there in MLB today, signed or traded to the Yankees. But you have shitty-ass coaching. What kind of a product are you going to end up with on the field?
You're not gonna have a product because all they're gonna do is like that. Yep, and if he brought it back, I was waiting for it.
Preparation H. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. Aaron Preparation Hicks, the guy who basically screwed it up for the Orioles. He's one of the reasons from the American League side that 100-win team is not punched their ticket at this late stage to the final dance. Game 1 starts Friday. Actually, this is a good prelude to look into what the upcoming schedule looks like. 2023 World Series schedule. So game 1 starts Friday. Yeah, game 1 starts Friday. Game 2 Saturday. Game 3 is Monday. Game 4 is Halloween. Game 5 is Wednesday. Game 6 is Friday. And Game 7 would be Saturday, November 4th. So basically, we're going from the 27th through the 4th. Now, luckily...
Which is perfect because I'm on vacation.
Well, yeah, okay. But at the same time, if you think from the logistical point of view of how Texas has home field advantage, I think they've done a good job to strategize the traffic, perspective down here in Arlington, because remember, you've got AT&T Stadium for the Cowboys. Game is at 12 in the afternoon, and then that traffic has to clear out, and then the incoming Ranger fan traffic has to come in. Had the game been on Sunday, October 29th. So I think this was a blessing in disguise. Now, luckily, also, there is no game on Sunday, November 5th either. So the Arlington traffic jam basically scenario has somewhat been averted. That would have been a crazy traffic jam because you have three venues in that area. You have Globe Life Field, you have AT&T Cowboy Stadium, and you have Six Flags.
Okay.
In that one, maybe I want to say 5-mile radius, if that. So if you have,
now what game is on the 28th?
28th, two in Arlington. That's on Saturday.
No.
Yeah. Let's get a.
I just wanted to make sure that there was a game that day.
Right. So basically, tomorrow night is Game 7, Diamondbacks Phillies. Who do we want this matchup and to be? Starting in Arlington. I mean, Texas already has home field, regardless of whether it's Diamondbacks or Phillies. Who do we want to be the NL opponent? Who do we favor the most here? Yeah.
That's tough because I think I originally thought that the NL was going to be the stronger team in the playoffs.
Right.
But the way the Rangers are playing, it's going to be tough. I don't think – I think of the three teams remaining, it's anyone's title to win.
Yeah, I'm reading an answer to a
that's
question.
kind of really not an answer, but I don't have any investment into any of these teams.
Right.
Maybe Texas because they knocked Houston off.
Right.
But with the Phillies and the Diamondbacks, kind of, I'm going to enjoy it. I'll be locked in. I'm just not.
I was watching
the one thing I've learned from the postseason now, that the Yankees are a complete fucking laughingstock. I could actually enjoy the games without the emotional turmoil. And enjoy the sport of baseball again with no emotional investment. And It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I do want my team back in it though. Don't get me wrong. But it's kind of nice to be able to kind of, you can, whether, you can watch an inning and you'll be like, wow, what, an amazing pitch or a defensive play, or, the guy at the bat and hits a freaking moonshot, it's, you can enjoy it more. There's no emotional investment to it.
LI, what long layoff, dude. I mean, today is Monday. Game 1 is Friday. There's 4 days in between. The NL gets 1 day shy of that. It's not really a long layoff. A long layoff would be comprised, if they had swept and or maybe won in Game 5 at max.
Yeah,
It would have been off since like last week sometime. It's not a long layoff, dude.
No, it's only a couple of days.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 days. It's 4 days for the Rangers, 3 for the NL team.
Game 1's the 27th.
Yeah.
It's the 24th.
Yeah.
So that's not a long way. It's not a long way off at all.
Exactly.
You're talking 2 days?
Right.
Just like the All-Star break. 2-3 days, you're back on the you're back on in the rhythm. Nah, it's not gonna. This is a lot. This is a
In
lot
fact,
less.
it resets your pitching rotation. You can have your number one starting, if anything.
Yeah, it's still the 23rd. Yep.
Well,
Nah, it's been the
well,
24th for me for an hour.
well. NFE, you're smoking high in the mountains, so you don't count. You're still in the 23rd for another hour.
You got to bring his balls all the time.
No.
Carlos had said the Donald Garcia look like big time.
All right. Actually, Carlos just reminded me. Here's my prediction for SNL's cold opening this weekend.
Oh God.
Keenan Thompson is going to be dressed up as as Adolis Garcia, and he's going to have the whole gun thing going. If you remember Keenan Thompson's skit about Big Papi, David Ortiz. Yeah, have you seen that one? You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that one's funny as well. I mean, they talk about.
Yeah, I'm not a
They
big
all
SNL guy.
Yeah, so they all start talking about like Puerto Rican food and chicken con queque and stuff like that. It goes into all Dominican and Puerto Rican stuff basically. Yeah, so I could see, he's got the Latino thing going on, the Dominican thing going on, like Pat. So I can see Keenan Thompson dressed in Texas Ranger paraphernalia and going full, Adolis Garcia in the cold open. And it'll be something like, yo, Texas, vamos, or something like that.
Nope.
Yeah, it'll. Well,
like it's. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not mad to that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to force it, but it's about that time for us to lock it up.
Yeah.
And get some shut eye. I feel I'm starting to lose it.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, but this has been fun, and I hope, Dev.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we've made you laugh and really help you through this time. I know it's rough. Everybody else has been going through some shit. Everybody does. It's that's what this community does for everybody. We kind of band together and help each other out. But want to thank everybody.
NFE, what are you doing talking about my bedtime? How do you know I'm not cyborg?
Yeah, I never had it. I never had it.
Yeah.
But no, that is going to wrap things up for us. Hey, we hope everybody did have a good time hanging out. I know we did. I know Sunil did. But always appreciate everybody in the chat. But we will be back on the morning show on Wednesday, not tomorrow. We'll be back Wednesday, and then Jonathan, possibly an open panel Friday. Maybe we'll do an open panel before I go on vacation. But because I'll be gone for a week.
Yeah, Friday I'm basically going to go pick up my son from Austin. So
nice.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get on any open panels. Depends on the time of day I got to get out. If my son's done early, then, yeah.
Woohoo, open panel. Yeah, no, we do want to try to get one in, every once in a while during the off season.
NFE, we need to get some of your Cobra Kai stuff on there on open panel. We need to see some demonstrations,
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We need. Thanks, Chris. We this is what happens at night. We start off, and then it goes in 15 directions. And, if you're not paying attention, you'll lose your place.
Jonathan F-bombs.
I love Jonathan's F-bombs. He makes me, and he knows it too, because he says it and then he looks at me.
What the fuck did I just say? I just tried to do my best Jonathan impression.
You're on vacay, so it's open panels every day. Maybe, I don't know what the guys are gonna do. That's up to them. But no, we're gonna. Everything will stay on schedule with the shows. But I just after this week I'll be away for one. But It is going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of the gym. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But yeah, thank you
It's
everybody
not
for
a gym, NFE. It's a dojo for you.
dojo. A
Yeah,
dojo.
dojo. Yeah, because him and Jason doing the mixed martial arts specialties on an open panel would be a treat. Talk about contact sports like they wanted to. Yeah,
I don't know, good old fashioned ass kicking. You know,
exactly.
that was the other thing. Right? I know. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get to sleep.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
whatever happened to the one-on-one fights? Everybody's got to have like a group of people now. And they all jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to you get into a fight, you beat the shit out of each other, you go get a drink, and it's done. The winner buys the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened to those days? That was awesome.
Yeah.
But that is all right. We're gonna wrap it up on that. And if we're gonna talk about that.
We need to bring Brad on the panel. We'll see. We got to experiment. What he's talking about with viewership. Going through the roof without you on the show. We want to see how the Australian version of the show sounds.
That'd be cool. We might have to maybe the After Dark show after my vacation.
Yeah.
It might have to be Brad.
We might have to append the name to pin. Yeah, we might have to call it Pinstripes After Dark Down Under.
Yep, Pinstripes Down Under. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Right. All right, we love you all. We'll talk to you on Wednesday morning, and as I always say, wear those pinstripes with pride and play hard.